The referent for any good comedy is always either self-referential or with the inclusion of others, and always with reference back to the original main and so forth talking points. Laughter is more or less the expression of relief from confined ideas that are creating cognitive dissonance. It is the release of them into a new frame of line of logic where it's like, oh, of course, what was I thinking? Usually, misery is the result of being stuck in your thinking. Comedy is the intentional derailing of the thought of what you were expecting to have happen. That expectation is being stuck. The comedy is the intentional derailing of that expectation. The structure overall of good comedy is that I've been in the present moment and referring to the stuff of the past in conclusion with the point that you're making. Fundamental to this is the ability to express. Jim Carrey, for instance, spent a lot of time at the mirror looking at his facial expressions, seeing how that would affect other people and how they would react to it. When Robin Williams was asked this in the link that I'll show you below, what references did he give but a massive amount of impressions and quotes from others that he's heard? What is this? A fork, right? Or is it a weapon? Or is it a bookmark? Or is it a flathead screwdriver? Or a cigar? There's a TED Talk by at least one person or perhaps another about how schools kill creativity, presenting the matchbook problem, which presents the matchbook and so forth in a certain way, which can have to make you assume a certain frame of thought. Now, to relate this to some YouTube drama, to jump the horse a little bit, someone who had a bit of an ability to do comedy could go and interact with Lacey Green and show these things to be the case in a most hilarious way. But would we be able to find anyone who would be able to do that? And I'm saying no to me doing that, at least for the next 2 or so months, because I'm busy. The term is functional fixedness. And that means that this is body soap, never a doorstop. Why would you use it as a doorstop? It's soap. That's functional fixedness. Shh, I'm training. Oh no, oh no! I failed. I'll never be able to balance an axe on my head now. And can you believe that Brother Michael was actually able to balance a spike on his head? I mean, yes, he's dead now, but he was still able to do it. Envious bastard. Now, that might have been done in a poor way. And by poor here, I mean is that the idea is that it's ridiculous if someone tried to balance a spear on their head, that being the idea of putting something in a different context than it would usually be in, and then extremifying that so it's even more ridiculous and even unto someone's death. Which makes for the next question, why does explaining a joke make it stupid? Make it so that the joke just doesn't have any effect? I refer to this idea in a sense with what I call quantum burn. And that idea is essentially, when you observe something, that changes it. You know, like Nicolas Cage in the next movie. When you look up the future changes. Or when you try to observe a electron or a proton, the observation of that then changes how it acts. Just like when you have kids in a school spot, they tend to act differently when the teacher is around. Although that tends to be because, you know, they're kind of trapped there, and if they tried to leave, they wouldn't be able to go back there, and they wouldn't be able to have a good job in the slavery society. Woo! And we wonder why people are suicidal. And then getting medication that gives for more side effects so that more money is spent until we have no more money. The overall issue is that everything relates to everything else. The universe is holographic. Everything relates to everything else. I've said this before, that's because it matters. Whether you're talking about love, whether you're talking about suicide, whether you're talking about depression, whether you're talking about comedy, whether you're talking about anything, it all relates to everything else. The tension of existence makes for the not unreal desire for the lack thereof. In Mad Men, when they're talking about how there's a desire, a death wish that people have, that's not fake, and there's a reason for that death wish, is that of living in a fake society. And by golly, is society fake, predicated on so many murders, lies, and so forth to get to where we've gotten to. And who best to protect everyone but those who have a monopoly on force, so that we can be ensured that at least some people will get their needs met. Because of course a monopoly on force will inherently be accountable. Always. Because you can totally fire them if they don't do what you want them to do. Totally. I mean, that's how it's run right now, and I think that we're all pretty satisfied with that. I mean, there's the president, his name is Trump, and I think that pretty much everyone likes what he's doing. I mean, they might disagree with him being there, but they agree with the process overall, and that's why this is still going on, because we need to have slavery in order to have existence, because without slavery, without people being in a monopoly, I mean, we just have chaos, right? Because we don't have chaos right now. The world isn't in chaos. It's very orderly. It's not chaotic at all, as is very obvious. You know what? Scratch all of that. I'm literally Hitler. Why are you even looking at me like I'm saying anything relevant? I'm Hitler. Why are you listening to me? What's, in a sense, nice about having a smaller channel and almost no one watching is that I can really literally say whatever I want to, and no one's going to see it anyways. So, while PewDiePie has to watch what he's saying, even though he's got... Overall, his content is excellent, and I'd like to learn how to do that, but not so that I can get more views, just simply because I'd prefer to not be making as shitty of content as I am making. Nonetheless, this is a great way for me to process information in detail so that I'm not wasting people's time because they can just not watch. This just looks weird and interesting. Here's a question. How isn't this YouTube stuff that people are doing, how isn't that like Jim Carrey? I mean, aren't you literally looking at yourself while you're doing this stuff, looking at your own expressions even?